Welcome to the Law Firm Marketing Minute, your source of internet marketing inspiration.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Law Firm Marketing Minute. I'm host John Henson. This week, very excited about this specific topic because you probably saw the title of the episode and you probably had a thought like, oh, but your name is Spotlight Branding, and you're saying that branding is dumb? Like, what do you mean by that? And I'm talking about the stereotypical notion of branding. I think a lot of people generally associate branding with a logo and color scheme and a tagline, and that's it. And that is an element of branding, but there's also a deeper element of branding where it's how you position yourself. What do you want people to know you as? What do you want people to associate with you? What is your expertise? And a lot of firms fail to do that. A lot of firms think, well, their branding is their logo, color scheme, and tagline, and then they go off and focus on search engines and lead generation and stuff like that, leaving the referrals and the top of mind awareness and the touch points behind in that regard. The thing is, the past sort of positioning and the way that people used to go about it is they thought that branding work meant putting up signs and billboards. And you still see this a lot. I know, just driving to Florida, like almost as if as soon as I pass the state line into Florida, like every other billboard is a law firm. And it's all the same thing. Like I can tell it's an injury firm, and it's usually like, he won $1 million for this client. Call 555-5555. And it's the same sentiment on every billboard. Fine, whatever, cool. You get money. Like, that's not connecting with someone. It's also like half the time people aren't even looking at billboards anyway. They're looking at their phone, texting while driving at this point. But also, I just don't know that it's that effective anymore. I don't know how many people, take action because they saw a billboard. And again, it's the same similar principle of building top of mind awareness, right? Like if your face is showing up everywhere, if your phone number is showing up everywhere, if your firm name is showing up everywhere, yeah, it's going to be hard for people to forget it. But the way people go about doing that now, and the way and the tools that we have are so much more effective than putting up signs and billboards, that you don't need to do that anymore. Because it's more cost effective and you get better value out of it. Billboard, you are restricted to that specific spot, to the specific people that drive by that spot. Right. There could be other cross sections and demographics and people appropriate for your target market on the other side of town that never drive on this part of the highway. So you're missing those people. You also don't get to control the message. You buy that billboard for a set amount of time. It's the same exact message. But now you have things like email, you have things like social media where you can maintain that top of mind awareness, but you can also control the message. You can have a different message every single day. You can target a specific set of people unbound by location, right? The thought, like if your firm is still putting up signs and billboards, you either have more of a marketing budget than you know what to do with, or you're wasting it. And that's just the honest truth, right? Like if you're putting up a sign with your firm's logo on it and your phone number at the community baseball field and expecting to get a lot of results out of that, you're completely misguided. Now, if that sign came with was really more earmarked as a donation for your city's Little League Foundation, fine. That's totally admirable. I would probably categorize that more as a charity expense rather than a marketing expense. It's just a perk that comes with it. But the putting up signs or ads like in yellow pages, or putting them up on billboards, or even like I've seen like on buses or even in shopping carts or whatever the case is, that's not going to give you the same value. It's not going to give you the same top of mind awareness value as showing up in someone's phone, in their inbox, or on their social media timeline, because that's where they're concentrating the most, right? People see your billboard, they're not really paying attention to it. People may see your sign at a baseball field, or on a park bench, or a shopping cart, or wherever. They may see it, but they're not really paying attention to it. It's just extra noise. But you know what they are paying attention to? They're paying attention to their phone. They're paying attention to the emails that come into their inbox. They're paying attention to the content that shows up along their social media timelines. That's where the value is. That's where and it's so much, and again, like I said, it's so much more cost effective. It's greener if you care about that also, but it's so much more cost effective, and you have more control over it, right? Like putting up a billboard, let's say a tornado comes through and wrecks the billboard, you have no control over how fast they get that repaired. Or maybe you get your money back. I don't know. I don't know how billboard contracts work, but it's that you don't have the same control. You can put out whatever message you want in a social media post. You can, put whatever content you want in an email. You have full control over that, and you have control over who sees it. Even if they're, especially with social media, so the way Facebook has targeting options, you can target certain people in your entire city with a social media post, whether or not they like your page or not. And you can connect with those people and build that top of mind awareness and provide the value. That is the key element there. You have to be providing that value. Otherwise, you're just part of the noise. If you're not giving people a reason to reach out to you, it's not worth your time. You're wasting your marketing budget. The thing that's funny to me, and this is one thing that I've truly never understood about marketing, is I was watching the World Baseball Classic a couple of weeks ago, and I saw that Team USA had T-Mobile stickers on their helmet. T-Mobile paid for that branding to be put on the helmets because they want people to be thinking about T-Mobile a lot. I truly don't believe that anyone is going to go and sign up with T-Mobile because they saw their logo on a baseball helmet. But the point of it is to create that top of mind awareness. The problem, though, is that T-Mobile doesn't need to do that. There are other things that T-Mobile could do. The ironic part, especially when it comes to insurance companies and all that, it's amazing. Like, how much could they lower what they charge if they didn't have these massive marketing budgets to maintain the top of mind awareness, right? Um, but that's a different discussion for another time. Side note, why do we have why do prescription drug companies and privately owned hospitals have marketing budgets? Like, I don't know. It does. Some things in the marketing world baffle me, and I hate it. But it's part of the monster that we've all created as a society. What I do know is that those big corporations, your T-Mobiles, your McDonald's, your Coca-Colas, all that, they have the extra marketing budgets to do that sort of thing. They could just put up a sign, a billboard, or whatever, and it's baseline top of mind awareness, right? Because whatever, they can get away with it because they have marketing budget to blow. You as a small firm don't. And so you have to be smarter about what you use your money on. And for me, and I'm not even just saying this because it's what we do, it just logically makes the most sense. The smartest use of your marketing budget is also what should provide the most value to your audience. And so think about what would provide the most value to your audience. Whether or not you show up on page one of a Google search, or a series of social media posts, a regularly recurring email that actually answers questions that they have, right? And once you have that, whatever you have left over, fine. Focus on your search ranking. Focus on, what we talked about last week in terms of like direct mail or Google ads or anything like that. But it's the whole foundational aspect that small firms often fail to get right. Right. Because they either try to copy these gigantic corporations and the branding that they try to do, because it's this thought like, oh, well, McDonald's and T-Mobile and all them, they put up signage. I'll just put up a sign. Signs seem to work. Not nearly as well as they used to. Show up where your audience is hanging out. They're on social media, they're in their email inboxes, on their phones, and provide value to them. If you can master that first, it sets up any other kind of marketing that you do to be more effective. All right. So, that was just a kind of a thought that I had, things that I realized that just, irk me in kind of a weird way, but also just, it seems so simple, but it's amazing how many firms fail to do that. And so again, look, I'm not even saying you have to work with Spotlight branding to do that. I'm saying if you can just start providing value to your audience, generate valuable content, that's what's going to help your firm, succeed with its marketing strategy. And then whatever you add on top of that will continue to work better than if you didn't have that sort of thing at all. So, again, touch points are important, but it's how you're making touch points. It's what you're doing with those touch points. And I think a valuable social media post, a valuable email newsletter is going to get so much more legway out of that piece than a billboard or an ad in a phone book would ever do. So that's it for this week. Thanks so much for continuing to listen, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us. Please visit lawfirmmarketingminute.com for more information. We'll see you next time.